Morning, Kira. Morning, Margaret. How you doing?
I've got my ondush on.
I'm not even talking about your glasses because you're doing it on purpose now.
I'm not. I'm genuinely. I can't find my
I
Jurgens.
hate those
Have you got rid of my
glasses.
Jurgens?
Oh my God, you look like a creepy priest.
What?
You know, there's like, those ones that, one of those you look like.
A creepy priest?
Or a creepy headmaster. Do you know what I mean? One of those, there was...
Now I look like Nigel Slater. You try those on. They kind of suit you.
Is this it? Is this all...
You look like a creepy
Right.
nun.
This week we are going to the shops and we're going to buy you a decent pair of...
She looks like a creepy nun, don't you think?
Right, here's my... Right, what is wrong with those? They're misty because they're dirty.
I just wonder whether I should just keep practicing. The thing is, I wouldn't be able to read any of your names out. I should just keep exercising my eyes by reading that. Now, can I just quickly say, can I just say, if we suddenly cut out, which has happened on the last two lives,
So annoying.
YouTube. It's not a Wi-Fi or a 4G thing. It's YouTube.
You're really annoying.
If it suddenly cuts out, just rest assured that we will frantically set up a second.
Yeah,
one.
we'll be there. We'll be back in a minute or two. But it's very annoying, YouTube, if YouTube is listening.
Okay.
So annoying.
God, it feels blurry. How's that? Is that better? Does everyone prefer these?
Oh God, yes.
Yeah.
Please, God Almighty. Beetlejuice. God, I'm just transfixed by this blender. So it's terrible because the adverts come up. Thank you for my clean corner, Lauren. Well, it was really, really clean. Hang on, let me just move some of this stuff.
I can't see with those. Maybe they're not strong enough. Am I looking at you all directly in the eye? Am I looking at you all? I hope so.
Oh my God, there's a box of ginger nuts.
Oh, that's better. What are these? Oh, they're +1. Maybe if you use +1 when you're +1.5, will it exercise your eyes back to +1?
Well, a lot of people believe that, and I'm one of those people. But
do you believe that?
Opticians would say no.
So if 1.5 makes things clear, though I have to say everything is milky.
I think you need to go to the effing optician. You haven't been for 5 years.
Why are you so angry?
Because if you're starting to see milky vision, you need to go to see...
No, it's milky grubby fingers from where you've worn it. Is this because you're angry with Kanye?
I'm very angry with Kanye.
She's just been in a rage all morning. She's stomped about.
I'm very angry with Kanye, but I don't want to start with Kanye. I'm not ready to do Kanye.
Lucy Williams, Nadia, you were making such a funny face a minute ago when you were wiping your glasses. You just suddenly paused and your face was hilarious. You'd have laughed with no sound.
Oh, look, there I am.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's
Babe.
a horrible face.
We're watching it on a time delay.
I'm in a daze.
Mandy Falloon is cooking chicken pasanda. What's chicken pasanda?
I don't know. What is chicken pasanda?
What is chicken pasanda?
Chicken pasanda.
Right. Did anyone... Oh, sorry. Okay, now she's gone from angry to exhausted. Did anyone see...
Hello, Helen McDonald's finally call her live from New Zealand.
Oh man,
hello, Helen. Welcome.
Did anyone see the vlog last night? It was Nadia posted a little clip of it on her Instagram. And
it's the paint.
People are already calling it Paintgate.
You have to watch it. It's quite unbelievable. Maddie is hilarious.
I've discovered with Mattressgate, Curtaingate, people love it when things go wrong.
Well, it is funny, isn't it, when things go wrong for other people?
I love it.
Makes you feel better about your own life.
So just so you know, if you are suddenly pushed down the stairs, that's me.
Oh.
Yeah. All right? You all right?
Yeah, I was just reading Erin about the glasses.
You can improve your eyesight a little. Should we read it out? You can improve your eyesight a little if the deterioration is due to not exercising them enough, but in general, they will only continue to get worse, just slower. My eyes got weaker and weaker the more I lent on glasses. I'll tell you what, though, when we were somewhere really sunny, I think in Cornwall, and it was blaring sunlight on I didn't need to wear glasses to read.
Yeah, it's the light thing, isn't it?
I mean, we never have enough light.
But anyway, this is quite boring. I'm
Susie Marsh, my first live. Oh, welcome.
Hello, Susie Marsh.
How is
Jackie
everyone?
Bellino still loves Donut Gate. You loved that, didn't you, Jackie?
Oh, Donut Gate. Do you remember that? We just ate all the kids' donuts. That was a great moment. I still have
It's a
flashbacks to
weird
that.
moment of utter madness.
And
I think we were both in a high bipolar state.
and gluttony. We certainly were afterwards. My God, the sugar rush was quite something. Claire Smiley, vlog was magic. Nanny Bluebell, yes, very good. Emma Carter, loved the vlog. It took me back to when my youngest dropped 2 tins of paint on a public pavement, pink and white. My God, it was.
Oh no!
Now it's not
Actually,
a gloss.
somebody texted me, messaged me yesterday and said this happened to her. Her and her mum had spent 3 hours cleaning her rented flat to leave to get the deposit, and as they left, they knocked. Oh no, maybe it was no, because it was 3 litres of paint. They knocked over a 3-litre paint pot on the floor after they'd just cleaned the whole flat.
Oh God.
Can you imagine? Awful. I know. So she wouldn't have got a deposit back.
But if it's a gloss emulsion, you're screwed. But apparently lots of people are saying,
Darling,
we're not
that's
screwed.
the difference, gloss or emulsion.
Oh, sorry, gloss or emulsion.
Yeah.
Well, we're not screwed out there.
Because it's emulsion.
Yeah.
Well,
There we
we've
go.
bought now a water jetter.
Yeah, so we're going to
Something
jet
like
the
that.
fuck out of it. Catching Alive from Ireland says, oh, I don't know how to pronounce your name, darling. Can you write it phonetically so we get it right? Alf Tweet. It looks beautiful written, doesn't it? I was looking at Irish place names. I just love the words. I can't say them, but I love the look of them.
Yeah, the look of
They're
them.
beautiful things. Elaine Janolfi, I loved it when Nads ordered McDonald's and ate 2 burgers in the bedroom.
Russ Souch says his favourite episode is Sainsbury's Bad Poo Time.
Oh my
That was
God.
one of my worst experiences.
Yeah, that was quite something.
Oh, I still get a shudder of the fear of that.
My problem with that was I just knew that a bag for life wasn't enough.
Oh, just don't talk about it.
Nadia gets the urge whenever she walks into
Yeah,
a
look,
bookshop.
that exactly. Nicola Higgins, it'll have soaked in well by now. We're never going to get it out.
No, we will with a scooty.
Yeah, but it's soaked in.
It's not. It'll be fine. It's not porous. It's actually a plastic composite. I love saying that. It's a plastic composite decking. Yeah, it's not wood.
You love that you've remembered. What
I know.
it is. We're showing off about it.
Plastic composite. What is wrong with? Why am I
Showing it
irritating the
off.
pants out of you today?
Out of me.
Yeah. Yeah. No, out of your crack.
Mark!
It's an emulsion. There are certain kinds of soap that will get it out, says Erin Bullimore.
Really? Erin knows everything. Erin
Yeah.
is very, very bloody clever.
Yeah, Claire Smiley, don't diss the dolly. I've completely reversed about dolly. That was at the end of it. Best one was camping.
I really love how everybody's got their own best vlog.
Look,
I love
chilly.
it. The camping, Greece. Oh, Greece. We need to do an abroad glog.
Yeah, we
glog,
do.
Glog.
we need to do an abroad glug,
An abroad glog.
especially now that everyone can fly EasyJet. Do you remember EasyJet in Berlin? Oh, Jesus. On Paddy's Day, I should send you a list of Irish names and get you to pronounce them, Nora Doyle.
Yeah, that'd be
Absolutely.
funny.
Yeah, that would be good. Sarah Doolally, one of the funniest was when you did your hello photo shoot in your home and you were lying on the floor with the letters. Do you remember that? And we kept corpsing on the sofa.
Yeah.
No, that was good. Emulsion is water-based. It will definitely come out with the washer. That's exactly what Caesar said
Thank
as
you.
well. It's going to come out with the
Mayboon,
washer.
Nanny Die in the Sea. It's so many people's favourites.
Oh,
that.
yes,
Oh
you couldn't
my
stand
God,
up.
it was so funny.
Yeah.
We
Angela-
do need to do our Irish vlog. Zoe's going to be our travel agent.
yes. You need to sort of curate our journey.
Hmm.
Angela Thompson, couldn't stop laughing. My husband spilt a full tin in the boot of a car. Laugh about it now, but not at the time. Oh my God, in the boot of a
The
car.
car.
How did you get
You
that
won't
out?
believe what happened to us today.
No, don't.
We came down this morning. I was just chatting about this on a live, and I was going to have 10 minutes of getting zen before my yoga lesson. And I came down, and there was 3 splodges like that of the worst dog diarrhea you've ever seen.
Oh dear.
So what did I immediately do? Mark,
No, it was just awful.
come and look at the dog diarrhea.
If I've got time to think about it, I won't do it. So I go straight to the kitchen towel and kitchen paper. Or towel. And you just have to get in there and scoop it.
Mark, all right, now why do you have to say the word scoop? That's going to make people feel sick. What if they're having crumpets? And tea.
Do you remember?
I like to think of you all having tea and crumpets and stuff when you're with us.
Linda Tyler, do you remember the London hotel that was like a brothel?
Oh, God.
I don't know if Nadia
I
did.
still
She fell
get the
asleep.
shudders about that.
Yeah, isn't that where I
How
got?
many more times are you going to tell me that I fell asleep in that fucking hotel?
Yeah, but I went
It was
into.
the only way I could deal with how horrible it was.
I got into the hot tub and got a really bad
I know,
lurgy,
you
didn't
say
I?
this every time.
Oh, we're reminiscing. You tend to repeat when you. Fuck it. Fuck it. I'm going and I'm taking the plant. With
Mark, put it back!
No,
I've just hoovered that floor. Oh, he's so annoying. Just put it back. You look silly now. Put it back. Oh, Jen is actually having coffee and crumpets. Jen, I'm so jealous. Why do I never get sent nice things like crumpets?
Let's say a welcome to Mandy Falloon. Mandy Falloon, Mandy Falloon, your surname rhymes
I've
with
got my
a
COVID
balloon.
exhaustion again.
Mandy Falloon, your name rhymes with balloon. Welcome.
Oh, God. Anyone else that's had COVID where you suddenly just go, I'm so exhausted?
Let's see how many people yawn.
Who's yawning? Who's yawning? Because I'm yawning. Oh no, Emma, is it?
Oh,
Emma's done.
B remembers the indoor skydiving. We need to do more outward bound activities. We need to
Or
climb.
not.
No,
I hated skydiving.
We need to climb things. We need to jump out of things. We need to be hit by. I think we should go boxing. You could take out all your rage on me. I won't.
I already do.
Okay. Look, they're all yawning. I yawn all the time, says Claire McNabb. Me, just yawn, Julianne.
Right, on to Prince
When
Andrew.
the mice on the mouse organ go to sleep, Bagpuss goes to sleep. We will build it, we will build it, we will build it, but just me. Oh my God.
Look, Mark, you've lost weight, man. I said to Mark this morning, he really looks like he's lost weight. I've been completely telling him off around his 16.8, that's why.
Do you know what Izzy's boy...
Maddie at midnight last time. And anyone want a bag of Wotsits? He went, yes, please. I went, are we in our 8 hours?
She leapt across the room and rugby tackled me.
Are we in our 8 hours to have a bag of Wotsits at midnight? No.
Ashley says we need to do one of those inflatable courses. You're absolutely right. We'll try and
No,
get
Ashley,
over them.
we don't. We don't want a broken ankle like yours.
Izzy's, my eldest, boyfriend, Akran, guess what he wants to do the next time we all meet up?
What?
Throw axes in the woods.
Oh, yeah, I quite like that.
Yeah, hatchet throwing, apparently.
I've always wanted to go to those rooms where you smash them up.
Yeah, but the problem is you have to pay for everything at the end, don't you? So if you smash up a microwave... Yeah, they've got one of those in Bristol, haven't they? A smash
I don't
room.
remember me, Dina and Lisa being in Poundland, Claire. Me, Dina and Lisa in Poundland.
No, I don't remember that ad. I don't remember that ad.
I love giant Wotsits.
Vicky Taylor just had crumpets and turkey bacon for breakfast and a strong coffee. Oh, man. Look how far behind we are there. Look.
Crumpets and turkey bacon.
What do you think of that?
I don't think I'm turned on by it.
No Nicolastic twanging here.
Oh, Mark.
Okay, so Prince Andrew has set... Oh, that's nice. Oh.
I'm crumpeted.
Prince Andrew has settled. What do we think of that? I wanted to ask this
What
question.
do you think of that?
In
Tell
him
us.
settling, is there an implicit admission of guilt? Because I don't know if you remember, people like Bill Cosby, they settled out of court, didn't they?
Well, in America, apparently, this is very common. But what I think, he was adamant he was going to have his day in court. And so was Virginia. And apparently, I don't know if this is true, you know the disastrous Emily Maitlis interview? Well, apparently he asked to do another one to set the record straight. So this is a man that is oblivious as to how he comes across. Every lawyer I heard yesterday was saying he would have been told right from the beginning to settle.
Right, but
They
his arrogance...
absolutely known that he would have been taken, it would have been horrible because we've seen how bad he is in interview. Deposition, that was it, because he was called to do a deposition. And they said he's just finally listened to his lawyers. That's what happened.
Yeah.
And with, obviously, the Jubilee coming up, they don't want
Yeah,
all
the
of
Queen
those details.
wants that all clear, doesn't she?
But what I feel so angry about is I don't think the statement was directly apologetic enough to her. I think that only 2 or 3 weeks ago, he was smearing her name in the
he
way
was accusing her, wasn't he?
accusing her of being part of a trafficking ring. You know, all the classics that a woman has to go through when they go to court, when they take a man to court for something like this. And then yesterday, that, as every lawyer said that I've listened to on the radio, very, very carefully, every single word will have been gone over with a fine tuning comb.
A fine tooth comb.
Tooth comb.
Fine tooth comb.
Fine
I always
tooth-
thought that meant a comb that you brush your teeth with.
Fine tooth. Oh, fine tooth comb. Yeah, close together.
Fine tooth comb.
Yeah, like a knit comb.
Yeah, it's like one word.
A fine tooth comb.
A fine tooth comb.
A fine tooth comb. It will all have gone over with a fine tooth comb. And it just galls me. It absolutely galls me. Because also at the end of the day, money is all power. Imagine if there was somebody that was, I mean, obviously he's always said he's innocent, but an innocent man or woman in a similar situation and they don't have the money. Yeah. It's just wrong. I mean, the thing is, it is a civil case. It's
12 million is a lot for not having Meta.
We do not know that
don't.
It's 12 million.
No.
Somebody was just saying on the radio that they think that probably includes the fees because it's pro bono lawyers. So that's probably going to, and that probably the settlement is nearer to 5 million.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think when you pay a civil court case that it necessarily means you're always guilty. Like, I know somebody that's very, very, very famous that said to me that they and many other very, very famous people they know literally have accounts of funds for civil cases that are brought against them that they just pay to just make it go away because it's people just cashing in on the fact that they're famous.
Yeah.
So
can I just ask a yes/no question though? Do you think it's an admission of guilt? Do you think it's an admission of guilt,
I feel it is with him.
To be devil's advocate, do you think it's a swift way to fan away? Drama and speculation and gossip and all that kind of stuff.
Well, I think also, I mean, the really important thing here is his lawyers will not have believed he'd been okay with that deposition because they've seen him in an interview situation.
Yeah.
And so, everyone says it's just because he finally listened.
Right. Which you sense he doesn't do, especially he has fits about his teddy bears.
No, I mean, this is a totally arrogant, narcissistic person in my view of what we've seen of him and what we've heard of him.
Yeah.
He and a royal correspondent was saying yesterday, out of the entire royal family, the person that absolutely revels in the pomp and ceremony and loves to be at events where he's named the prince and everybody is Prince Andrew.
Yeah.
He loves it. And the fact that he's been taken out of that is the most terrible punishment for him.
I think it's the Platinum
Jubilee. And he
Jubilee.
should never be allowed back.
I think it's the Platinum Jubilee. Andrea Crash is bucking the trend here. So if he was into young girls, then why is not others coming after him? She also was grooming other young girls. She admitted that. Why is she not being charged? I think the argument around any of her involvement was that she herself was kind of, it almost leads us to the next thing, was she not sort of gaslit into it and kind of, she possibly didn't know the boundaries of what she was involved in because she was so young, perhaps.
Exactly.
So young.
And for him to use it in that way, I think was just disgraceful. And the thing is, this is what I think happened with Prince Andrew, right? I think Prince Andrew is the most arrogant of people, brought up in a bubble that totally thought everyone adores Prince Andrew. I think he probably didn't know that she'd been trafficked. I think he probably thought that she really, really liked Prince Andrew because he was so... But where it all falls apart is that he continued to see a convicted paedophile. Yeah. He continued that relationship. He's only now, in the Emily Maitlis interview, he said what's his name, Epstein was a very, what was he said, useful person to know.
Yeah.
And that to me is just, then everything, he becomes culpable for everything. And it's only yesterday that he said he regrets his relationship with Epstein after all this time.
Rachel Kelleher says that's how the grooming rings operate, though. Often girls will recruit other girls so they don't have
I've
to do
interviewed
it.
girls that's happened to.
It's an incredibly tragic, vicious cycle.
And for him now to say he's going to dedicate himself to helping, I don't know what
charity.
the wording was. The charity, but also to something about sex trafficking. It made my stomach turn. It was just like...
Well, talking of bad, toxic...
But do you think he should be allowed back into public life? I think that's an interest. For me, never.
No, I don't think he should.
Never.
I think he just sort of sits in the background. I mean, there's been sort of occasions, haven't there, when various sort of royals have had to take a step back. I think he should just take a step back.
And there has been a precedent set with the Queen. The Queen gave Prince Charles $7 million to sort out his court case, you know, with Princess Diana.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mummy does step up.
So, shall we... This story...
She earns $23 million a year just from the Duchy of something estate rentals. Just that. $23 million a year.
It's something, isn't it?
Isn't it? Duchy of something.
I think now Nadia has been incredibly upset and angry about this, and I don't know the entire story, so I'm looking forward to hearing it. So Kanye West and his various Instagram posts. The only part of the story I do know is that he bought a house opposite her. Is that true?
Well, yeah. I mean, the thing is, this is for me. I've been sort of becoming gradually awakened to actually what's going on.
Right.
Because anyone that watches us here regularly, we have had huge sympathy for both Kanye and Kim, a couple dealing with somebody with, he has bipolar 1, and dealing with that mental health condition is very, very tough. And we loved, didn't we, the statement that she put out last year about him.
Yeah, she was very supportive.
He's made the decision not to take medication, which of course will impact massively on all those people around him, because we see it, because it's played out in public. We often see these incredible, these highs, and he goes onto live television and he says terrible things about her and her family. Anyway, so she's finally made the break. She's got a boyfriend.
Pete
Davidson. And I've just become more and more uneasy with the posts that the first thing was when he bought the house right opposite. And it was supposed to be just so he could be near to the kids. Then it was the live Instagram that he did berating the family for the way that he felt he'd been treated over the birthday party. Kim says nothing. And then it's one post after another. Ultimately, I mean, they've become very aggressive, these posts. And I think there was one a couple of days ago with a picture. No, hang on, let me just get it. Has he taken it down now?
I mean, I imagine
it's
writ large. It's the terrible, terrible destruction that happens in a relationship that falls apart, and who does it impact on most? Well, to be fair, it's impacting potentially on Kim, but it's also potentially...
He posted that yesterday, right? And it said, upon my wife's request, please nobody do anything physical to Skeet. I'm going to handle the situation myself, right? So Skeet is her boyfriend. He posted her text message saying, please stop. You're creating a very scary, volatile situation. There's some crazy people out there and something bad's going to happen. It's going to be your fault. He posted that on Instagram. Now,
hang on, he posted that she said that?
He posted her text.
Oh, right. Okay.
You're creating a dangerous and scary environment, and someone will hurt Pete, and this will be your fault.
Yeah.
Then she sent another text saying, why does everything I have to send you have to become in the public eye? And he said, because you're my favourite person, why wouldn't I show everybody? And I'm starting to think, this is getting creepy now. Then on Valentine's, he sends her a truck of red roses. They are finished. She has a boyfriend.
But he had a girlfriend for a month.
She has a girlfriend. He had a girlfriend. He's finished with her now.
No,
he was
just.
That's
why I said for a month.
But there's all these divorce lawyers and psychiatrists coming out now and saying this is classic separation abuse. It's kind of like a gaslighting. He's using the children in his text. He's behaving, I think, despicably. And then yesterday, Sean King, who I think a lot of you follow, he's a civil rights activist, Sean King. I think a lot of you follow him. He's amazing and does a lot of good work for all sorts of people. And he really came off the fence yesterday. Check out his post. It's very, very powerful. And he's also very angry with Kanye. And he's says he picks and chooses when to use pro-black statements. And it's, in a way, he's using it to manipulate the situation.
Just whilst you're finding that, can I just say, someone just said there, it's a really good comment, that it's really hard to distinguish between the man and the choices he's making and the actions he's making. And his illness. And therein lies really all of the kind of complexities of mental health, is where is the person or the genuine person within this. And the difficulty is that when mental health goes unchecked, when it's untreated, when you don't seek out help, the mental health illness does become you. That is what's presented to the outside world. That is the thing that can no longer be tolerated. Like addiction. I mean, addiction is usually something that kind of copes and covers some other underlying condition. I found out that, I managed bipolar for years with various sort of addictions, if you like. And again, I think, but the difficulty is Kanye will have no one in his inner sanctum or inner circle that necessarily understands that, or he just won't listen to it. And so that's why we have this incredibly distressing and tragic situation, I think. And so there is compassion for the mental health aspect, but one has to make a judgment on the behaviour and how it impacts on someone else.
Because he's also made the choice not to have medication. And I actually think it's really important that this is being spoken about. I mean, there's over 11,000 comments under Sean King's post today, and as I say, lots of professional people as well, and women that are saying, actually to see somebody in this position with this kind of profile and for this to be broken open, as this is very frightening for a woman. I'm not just talking about Kim. I'm talking about, like a lot of people could see that as a huge romantic gesture, the big truck of flowers, but actually that's very, very scary when you've finished with somebody, and it's very scary, for the kids and all of that and all this aggression. And I've looked under some of his posts, all these people just saying, just tell me when and I'll get Pete. And I think this is happening across the world for people in all kinds of situations. And you can tell that from very heartbreaking posts underneath, actually.
But also
people saying, this is what the kind of thing I've had to put up with my ex.
Has Pete Davidson come out? Because he's made real threats. He's incited all sorts of kind of potential danger for Pete Davidson, who is Kim's boyfriend. Sil Carney makes an interesting point. Is he just unwell and mentally ill because he's a celebrity? Many others are mentally ill and do the same to thousands of women, and they are criminals.
Well, I suppose these are the answers we can never... I mean, we've been told he's had a diagnosis of bipolar 1, but they're very open about that. But I just think if this is a moment to highlight all those other women that are going through something similar to this, and I really hope that I've got a horrible feeling there's going to be some tragedy out the other side of this. I really do. I just think it's just like everyone just needs to calm down.
Which kind of seamlessly brings us on to gaslighting, because there's kind of an aspect of that to both Prince Andrew and to the Kanye story. And the big story around gaslighting yesterday was that it was used as it was defined as something that could be considered a criminal offence in the first ever court case, in a situation that a male partner, was trying to convince a woman that she had bipolar. And so gaslighting, the term, for those of you who don't know what gaslighting means, it comes from a play which then became a film. Yeah, absolutely. And the term absolutely means manipulate someone by psychological means into doubting their own sanity.
And where the gaslighting comes from within the play was this husband who's trying to convince his wife that she's mad, is he keeps dimming the lights. And she says, what's the light? And he keeps telling her the lights are perfectly on.
The gas light.
I mean, it's just such an... Oh, it's really chilling. It's an old black and white movie. I remember watching it when I was about 13 and just being fascinated.
So it literally comes from turning down a gas light.
Yeah.
Yeah, to kind of impact on the mental stability
This
of a person.
case where it was used was just horrific, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
This guy was a mental health worker.
He worked, I know. I mean, and what leads you to... It leads you to think that he knew all of the intricacies of bipolar and mental health conditions in order to exploit.
He convinced his partner, her doctor, her family and friends that she had bipolar. She didn't, right? Then when she went to court, and she went through absolute hell. He was abusive to her, he raped her. And then when she went to court, the judge, did you see how the first judge absolutely just treated her so appallingly?
So appallingly.
And she actually went back to court. Apparently there are recordings of the court of her screaming and begging for them to believe her and to understand her. It's just absolutely just heartbreaking.
Yeah,
but this is a big step that this can now be used.
But I wanted to ask, does anyone here feel like they've been gaslit? Oh, here we go. Sarah Jane. I lived with a gaslighter. Our marriage ended up being a court case. Wow. He was diagnosed as a psychopath and narcissist traits by a psych.
Darling, it must have been awful.
Christ. Yeah, absolutely. Ream AW, gaslighting as a narcissistic trait.
Wonder Woman reminds me of the yellow wallpaper.
Oh my God, the
lovely
yellow
book,
wallpaper,
love
an
that.
astonishing book. Yeah. Kanye has posted a new post about it all. He said he takes accountability for harassing Kim, but will he change? And has
No,
the damage
he did.
already
He
been done?
posted that yesterday, but then he posted another one.
Wow.
And they said backtracking. So that's the thing. It's just like terrifying for all of them.
Zoe, I've had gaslighting relationships. It can be so soul-destroying and really messes you up for years. Look, the vast majority of you are saying yes to some form of gaslighting. I mean, I suppose the difficulty with gaslighting is, at what point is it a deep psychological control? And at what point is it manipulation? And at what point is it sort of low level? What is the scale of... Because you could argue that someone who misrepresents you or doesn't understand you, and you disagree in an argument, and someone says, what you meant was this. I mean, that happens in arguments all the time, doesn't it? I don't know, what you meant was this, or what it felt like what you were saying was this.
Yeah, there's kind of there's misunderstanding
Precisely,
between people
but
where
that's
they
hard, isn't it?
absolutely believe that they're right and they're trying to convince the person that they're right. But there's also, like, narcissistic, psychopathic, absolutely no feelings, would just try and convince the person that they're mad when they're not.
Right.
I mean, I think that's what we're talking about. We're talking about the
No,
extreme.
no, absolutely.
Not the usual sort of...
Look, Sarah Witherington, my ex-husband was jailed for blackmailing. He was on probation for... God, this thing keeps going up. He was on probation for posting nasty messages about my dad to get back at me. He went on to blackmailing someone else and was eventually jailed. Sarah Jane, yes, it was horrendous. He convinced me I was mad. I honestly couldn't even decide what to wear on a day by the end, as he'd messed my head up so much.
Oh, God.
Bloody hell.
Awful.
It's just awful.
What's that? My brother is a gaslighter.
Hang on, that's Sophie R.
My brother is a gaslighter. He's physically assaulted me 8 times in the past 18 months, and each time says I'm the one that attacked him, despite me being the one with injury.
Yeah.
Oh, sweetheart. I know somebody that who has a friend who has sibling abuse and control, and oh my God, it just never even thought about that growing up. You think about abusive parents and all of that, but in your own home from your own sibling as well. God, I mean, that's just a whole nother horror, isn't it? Oh.
Lucy Williams, look, there's still the effect of gaslighting. I feel I was gaslit for 15 years, but I really still don't know if it was him doing it or me unintentionally, because he still tells me it was me 3 years on, and I've not seen him in 2 years at all.
It probably sounds like it was him.
It's almost a little bit like Stockholm Syndrome. You know what I mean? It's that sort of belief, false belief that you're kind of in a terrible state. Gosh, we're over half an hour, guys. Final story. I just wanted to know quickly what people think. A head teacher has forced children to go vegetarian after banning meat at a primary school. What do you think of that? In the title, and I don't think this is right, again, in the title it says woke head teacher, and again I think it corrupts the word woke again. So
Well, here's what I think.
Oh, what do
As
you
a
think?
cook.
As a cook.
I think if the food is good and it is healthy, what on earth is wrong with one meal a day with no meat? Now, a friend of mine who works in a very posh private school, very expensive, and she went on a mission. She's a health nut. She went on a mission to look at the quality of the food that the kids were being given in at lunch break. And she said, you don't even want to know. The meat was like you wouldn't give it to your dog.
Right.
The quality of it was so cheap. And it come from one of the fruits and veg, like horrible, like flown from here, flown from there, frozen, disgusting, like the cheapest grade food. You know, so if you can give one good healthy meal to a child a day, that doesn't have to include meat.
Everyone
Sounds like a headmaster that cares about what his children are eating.
But do you not think there should be choice? Most people here are saying there should be a choice, and for some children, it's the only meal of the day, says Melly Mel. A lot of people saying it's disgraceful. Not a bad thing, really, though, says Elaine Janoffi.
I think it's the quality of the food. If they're going to get bunged a couple of carrots and a bit thin soup, absolutely.
Yeah.
But if you're telling me that if the plate has been thought about and there's good beans and there's different vegetables and you're getting a good protein veggie mix, and let's face it, the state of the planet, we are going to have to get to a place where we are not all eating meat every meal of the.
Yeah.
Is
If I was told I had to eat vegetables, I would have had an absolute fit.
Well, this is where it all depends what that vegetarian plate looks like, because I mean, you know that vegetarians live longer, don't you, right?
Yeah. But it's
so
very hard
we
to
know
sell that to a child.
A vegetarian diet is very good for you. I think, you know, our daughter's back at school and the options she gets are a pizza, a pasta with just tomato sauce with nothing else on it. There's no goodness. Anything she ever tells me is on the list. There's no goodness in it.
Well, I suppose, again, they have to be inventive with it. If they just chucked a load of broccoli on a plate,
But if it's a healthy meal with the right balance of grains and protein and vegetables, brilliant.
Yeah. What about sugar-coated carrots? No. Okay. Peas go down well because you have to chase them around your plate. Guys, thank you so much. That was really fascinating. We covered a lot of ground there, didn't we? And as ever, I love reading your comments. We love reading your comments, and you keep the conversation going. So keep the conversation going. KCG. We should call that KCG, keeping the conversation going. Whereas LBC is London, no, what is it? I can't remember what it stands for.
Emma B's just said there, my bacon sandwich has now turned to toast and Marmite because Emma's gone vegan, vegetarian.
Oh, right.
Emma, I would suggest that that's really good, heavy, whole grain bread because it would be more sustainable. And if you're vegetarian, not vegan, maybe an egg and Marmite so you've got some protein. Because though toast and Marmite is lovely, you've got no protein in there.
Yeah. Do you know what we're going to do?
Keep you fuller for longer.
A Xander group hug.
Yeah.
Whoa!
We were talking about Xander last night. We had Mum and Dad over and we were talking about Xander and remembering him.
Yeah.
So, big hug.
Guys, have a lovely day. And if you haven't, go and watch the vlog.